Well, good day, my friends. What you were going to watch today was not planned. I was meeting up with someone to film some memorabilia, and he said that he had arranged to have Robert Bardo, who has admitted to killing Rebecca SCHAEFFER. What you're going to hear is a conversation that we had with Robert Bardo today.
He told me. I told him we would be on. So
Who, Robert Bardo?
Yeah.
You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call,
Robert Bardo killed
dial 5 now.
poor Rebecca SCHAEFFER.
Robert.
For using Global Tel Link.
Hi, Marty. I hope I'm not interrupting you.
No.
I just wanted to check in with you.
No, brother. So Robert, we're actually recording right now and filming. So I have you on speaker if that's okay. And I'm here with my buddy Jordan. And I'm going to show off some of your art pieces. And I kept the stuff you have in an envelope private. But Jordan's here. Jordan, do you want to ask Robert anything at all? Jordan's a big time YouTuber, Robert, by the way. I want to make this introduction. And this is his fiance.
Hello.
And so she's here too. Yeah, so Robert, I just have you on speaker. So we're just kind of walking around and looking at some stuff. But Jordan, any questions for Robert?
Can I ask you, do you regret what you did?
I can answer that for him too. Robert, for sure, I know, because I talk to Robert weekly. So yeah, and Robert's been doing a lot of courses and things like that over the years. So
Have you tried to make amends with the family in any way?
Well, Robert, go ahead. I'll let you answer. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, of course. I regret, my crime and all my, decisions, and all the things and my horrible choices. And I'd say choices. Yeah, it's just, it's my fault, and I accept responsibility for what I've done. So I'll admit I wasn't fully prepared for that question, but that's how I'll answer it. But yeah, it's I do think about Rebecca SCHAEFFER quite a bit, and but I don't want to get too much into that.
Yeah, no, I was just curious if if you were remorseful, because I know obviously that's something that you can't take back and that you're trying to move on. So what do you do with your days now to keep yourself occupied and to just be a better human?
Well, what I've been doing, I work for the Lions Club, Lions at Sight program, which we take donated, like thousands and thousands of donated eyeglasses, and we clean them and we sort them to using a Tommy auto lens reader to sort the glasses by signal vision, progressive, and bifocal and trifocal that can be put in bags and labeled and sent to 4 countries. We send them back to the Lions Club, and they give the 4 countries, and they have volunteer eye doctors that distribute them to the 4 countries around the world. So I do that as my job, and then I attend a lot of different rehabilitation groups, and I'm very mindful of my past and everything I did to Rebecca SCHAEFFER and her family and the community. So I live my life doing my best to honor her memory, and yeah, it's just I do think about her often, and with much regret, and think about the life she could have lived, and that's so I spend my days just educating myself, and I communicate with various people that I'm in contact with, and I message them on my tablet that I use from GTL, and pretty soon we're going to have G.R.I.P tablets, secure tablets. And I just try to stay in contact with people and positive people that encourage me, and I try to encourage them. Thank you.
Yeah, may I ask you, what's your kind of like the first thing that you did to kind of start changing your life once you got in there? Was it reading books or anything, or what kind of was the breakthrough?
Well, for me, I attend church services, and
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
although I see myself as a sinner, and I go to like bilingual services, and I go to the English services, and just getting straight with God, taking forgiveness from God for all my sins, and
Yes.
And to me, I'm the type of person that likes watching educational programs. I watch like CBS 60 Minutes. When we had PBS, I like watching PBS Nova, American Experience, and Secrets of the Dead, and any scientific program that would educate me. I love STEM field, science, technology, engineering, mathematics field. And we have a Devo educational app on our GTL tablet, and I try to learn all the different math and emotional intelligence and all sorts chemistry, and I read a lot of the popular science articles on our news and sports app, and I read the entrepreneur stuff, the NBC business stuff, and try to educate myself to learn how to improve my education, because when I left school, I left at the beginning of the 10th grade, and I got my GED, but I didn't fully engage in my education as much as I should, so I just focus. I like Joyce Meyer's motivational books that are religious, and I try to read anything that's scientific. I read or educational, or I watch news a lot. I watch local news here, ABC 30 Fresno, or the local stations KSEE at Channel 24 or Channel 47 out of Fresno. I watched evening news, World News Tonight on ABC or CBS Evening News. Sometimes NBC. I watch CBS Sunday Morning. That's one of my favorite programs, CBS Sunday Morning, because I learn a lot from that. And I there's a thing called Veritasium. They got a bunch of those clips. It's a science program, and I love watching all those videos on there that we have on our tablet for the Devo. And so I want to do something that's a public service related to science, that it can improve lives. I have a thing on anti-gun violence, idea that I have that I'm trying to pursue that may not please everybody, but it's my idea. So.
Can I ask you, if you would have made different choices and you got released today, what would you do with yourself? Like, as far as there's a place you'd go, or what would you do as a free man?
I thought about that, and before I get to that point, I just got to be mindful of the people I hurt and cause pain to. So I have to keep that as my focus. But I most certainly would need to prepare for housing and transitional home, and getting a job. I'd like to get a job in like a vocational job, or one of those jobs that are like plumbing or HVAC, or something that's like construction work, or electrician, or something to that effect. So I'm trying to read up on learn the basics of that, to do something that's constructive that can help, increase the supply of housing in America that's desperately needed. But I also donate money to the Marjorie Mason Center in Fresno, which is a domestic violence charity. I encourage people to look that up, Marjorie Mason Center in Fresno. And they also have a good one in Bakersfield called the Open Door charity that does the same thing in Bakersfield, California. And I fully support the Fresno mission and also the one in Bakersfield for helping feeding and helping housing the homeless. But I like domestic violence charities, and I want to do things to where I can donate to them, because I want to keep serving charities that help women who are trying to get away from violent relationships. I feel a need to serve because of the damage I caused, catastrophic damage I caused, and I want to do things to make my amends, to be of service, and be more sociable than I was, because I was an introvert and I isolated myself. And so,
Would you have a relationship or a family if you had the choice?
Excuse me?
Would you have a relationship or a family, or do you have a girlfriend that writes you or anything like that? Do you have anybody that?
No, I don't have a girlfriend. No, I don't have a girlfriend. I did have one, but she decided to, I don't know, she had something else going on where she I'm just moving forward. I figure my life will be to, get the education that I need here and work on my rehabilitation and recovery. And then when I can be of service, I'll do the best I can and be more sociable. And as I connect with the people in the community, whether they come here and volunteer or however I do it, as long as I'm the service, I'll do my best to meet people. And if I should happen to meet the right person, and it progresses into a relationship for our family, I leave that in God's hands. I did graduate from a program called Guiding Rage to Power that was started at San Quentin, and it's called G.R.I.P for short, and it's at the GRIPTrainInstitute.org. And I just graduated in September 11, 2024, and I'm a GRIP peacemaker, and I'm in tribe number 884.
Hey, Robert, can I ask you something? Obviously, you and I have been corresponding and in touch for at least a couple of years now, if not longer. So when we talked about prior, I know the Menendez brothers, it's a big topic right now that they're eligible for potentially for parole, and that's going before that board. So did you ever meet the Menendez brothers? What was your experience like? Did you ever cross paths with them? And what's your thoughts about the potential changes coming up?
I heard that they got resentenced to 50 years to life by a Van Nuys Superior Court judge in Los Angeles, Judge Michael Jessic. And then they have another petition that they moved forward over habeas corpus based on a letter that Eric, the younger brother Eric Menendez, allegedly wrote to his cousin, detailing the so-called sexual abuse. So I hear that's another thing that's pending. I heard he went to the hospital over kidney stones, and his lawyer, Mark Garagos, is trying to get him released. I did see him at the LA County Jail. I remember Lyle Menendez, the older brother, he wore a toupee because he stopped at the watch commander's office to get it. Every time he went out to visit or he had court orders for everything that I recall. And then I saw him again at G.R.I.P State Prison in the early 2000s.
Okay.
And he lived on the same yard, so yeah.
Robert, was it true? Because in that documentary on Netflix, which actually is pretty big, they did a whole documentary. My wife and I couldn't even finish it because it was pretty bad. Some of the abuse that they suffered. But did you tell me a story years ago or a while ago that you had to loan them some change or something to make a phone call? Did that ever happen, or am I just confusing that with the series?
What was that?
Did you ever have to loan them some change to make a phone call? Back in the day, I thought.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Yeah, Robert.
No, are you talking about? I think one time, if I recall correctly, I think he had me make a phone call for him to one of his relatives, but I forgot what that phone call was about. It was just a brief phone call.
Okay.
It was but that was years ago. On the freeway time at the LA County Jail, because he was on the block here and I was on the top here, high power.
Okay. But you both went in it was around that early 90s era, right? That late 80s, early 90s?
No, well, I was arrested July 19th of 89.
Yeah.
And their case happened in late August. In fact, this month is the anniversary, it's going to be the 36th anniversary of the case later on this month.
Okay.
But they were arrested in 1990, I believe, later on. Because at first the police detectives didn't know who did it until the younger brother spoke to a therapist.
Yeah.
And then they had to, about the crime, and then that therapist recorded it, and then the state Supreme Court ruled that those tapes had to be admitted after a mistress of the therapist told the police that those tapes existed, and then they switched their story.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Okay.
Accept this call. Say or dial 5. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Robert, let me ask you this. Do you think, Mike, and we have a couple questions. Do you think that the system that you're in right now in California, do you think that it's helpful? Like, do they have good programs for you? Do you feel comfortable? Like, do you feel like, I know a lot of times you have to do things yourself, but do you feel that they're giving you adequate support with the programs?
I mean, for me, because I'm doing plenty of programs, I'll give you a quick rundown of my schedule. On Sundays, I was doing a thing on the science of interpersonal communication and it was a class, it's a 12-week class in our hobby room where we usually hold a lot of our groups. It's on the yard, and it was based on the neuro-linguistic programming, and we're learning that, and that was taught by 3 inmates. On Mondays, I do a thing called Power, which is prisoners organizing workshops for effective rehabilitation. And every few weeks, we cover a different topic like denial management, victim impact or victim awareness, thinking errors, or domestic violence, or denial management. It can be all sorts of anger management. It can be all sorts of different topics, and we discuss it amongst ourselves. And on Wednesday, I attend a Spanish guitar class, which is a 32-week class. An outside volunteer is teaching us on some guitars that we borrow, because they have 12 Spanish guitars that they use for this class. So we tune our guitars, and I'm learning that. And on Thursdays, I'm doing denial management in the hobby room. It's another denial management class taught by 3 inmates. I do that 5:30 to 7 p.m. And then Fridays, I do CGA, which is a 12-step group, Criminal Gang Members Anonymous, and we're on step 8 in there. And then on Saturdays, I own my in-building CGA, which I facilitate, and we cover a step a week. And that's in addition to my job where I work for the Lions Club, eyeglass refurbisher, where it's the Lions and Sight of California and Nevada, where we work with the donated glasses and we sort them out, clean them, and we find the ones that can be used and sent to package them and label them and send them to 4 countries around the world. The Lions Club actually picks them up. We put them in Apple boxes after we're done, and like Ziploc bags with the labels on them. And we do the right lens and the left lens, and then any add-on values if they're progressive or bifocal or trifocal. So that's an example of my schedule. And then I did G.R.I.P, Guiding Regions of Power.
Do you mentor people in there, Robert? Or do you have a lot of friends?
Yeah, I have a lot of inmates that I know that, there's a lot of lifers, and we used to get along really good. There's some short-termers. I get along with my dorm mates. I have a dorm that has a maximum of 12 inmates in there. And I get along with my dorm mates. We got a pretty good dorm. And I get along with the guys who about 7 guys I work with when I facilitate them, and I get along with the guys when I go to church. So yeah, we get along really good. There's a lot of guys who are working hard at programming and doing everything they can to go to college. They do the correspondence college with Palo Verde College or West.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
So yeah, they take college classes to earn an AA degree, and so there's, I'm in a good building where a lot of guys are actually programming hard because they want to, even the short-termers, because they want to have a better life out there. They want to take advantage of all the programs here. But yeah, there can always be more. There's some yards where they don't have very many programs, and it's not evenly distributed. I just have to be on a yard that happens to have a lot of programs that has the college thing. They have a thing called SAP, S-A-P, or ISUDT, and it's a drug treatment program, but they also teach, they have inmate mentors that teach about domestic violence, parenting, anger management, and criminal thinking, victim impact, domestic violence. They cover all those topics. And we'll take a lot of courses, and we'll take them over and over again. A lot of the classes last 12 weeks, and we do assignment sheets that we sign with our names that are printed and then signed in cursive, and then we put our state numbers, and then we sign our housing units and our bed numbers. And then after 12 weeks or so, they'll turn them in, and then we get what is called a chrono, which is a half-page certificate that shows that we completed the program. But a lot of times inmates will repeat it because it's always good. Like the 12-step programs are ongoing for people who are in recovery, so they'll take those over and over again for like NA or AA or CGA, which is Criminal Gang Members Anonymous, which was formed in 1996 at Mule Creek State Prison in Ohio, California, by inmates there, and now it's in every California prison. And they also have Alcoholics Anonymous, and some are in building groups facilitated by inmates, and then they have a building here, a housing, there used to be a housing unit called the 640, and then they have staff-sponsored groups there for NA and AA for the Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous.
Okay.
So
Robert, it sounds like there's a good amount of programs. And Robert, another question I have, and I'll let Jordan and Katie pop in here in a little bit. So in your time, and you've been, in there for about 3 decades now, what other like high profile inmates have you come across? I know we talked about the Menendez brothers already. Has there been anybody else you've come across?
And did you have any fears? Has anybody ever tried to bully you in there? Or?
Yeah, I've had inmates. My case was like really all over the news back in the early '90s. I had a lot of people noticed me and everything. And my first prison so I did my reception at Wasco State Prison from January 15th of '92 to March 31st of '92. And I went to that's where I did my reception. That's in Kern County, northwest of Bakersfield. And then I went to CMF Vacaville, which is California Medical Facility, Vacaville, California, which is in Solano County, which is southeast of Sacramento, and it's northeast of San Francisco. And I did time at that prison, which opened in 1955. But I spent like 6 years there, roughly around 6 years there. And that's was two-man cells. And I did my vocational electronics class there. I worked from 1993 to 1995, I worked in the hospital wing where I saw a lot of AIDS patients die. I was like a janitor there on a inmate janitorial crew. And they had the pastoral care services, inmates that were associated with the Catholic chaplain. And they would take care of the inmates dying of AIDS. And I saw a lot of body bags going out, a lot of inmates die of AIDS. And it was a horrible time when the medications weren't very effective for people who had HIV. So I have, and there's a lot of people who are like of the LGBTQ community over there. And many of them had AIDS, and they had some transgender types over there. And so I was exposed to a part of our society that I would, if I hadn't gone to prison, I would have never been exposed to. So that was, but yeah, I saw in that Vacaville when I was in the vocational electronics class from 1995 to 1997, an inmate would visit the teacher there, the vocational electronics teacher there, and he would occasionally come in and he would watch the O.J. Simpson trial on the TV. There was wall-to-wall coverage in the tool room there. And that was Edmund Kemper, who I didn't know at the time who that was. He was a tall white inmate.
Wow.
And a mustache. And I learned he was a serial killer later on. I read about it in Reader's Digest, but other inmates would talk about him. So I saw him there, and one time we happened to be at breakfast where he and I sat at the table, and he spoke to me more than I spoke to him, and he told me about the death penalty. How he thought lethal injection was barbaric, and he was against the death penalty. And then when I later on read about his crimes in the Reader's Digest by that FBI.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I thought on what he had told me about his opposition to the death penalty, considering his heinous crimes from the early 70s in the Santa Cruz Mountains. But then from then on, I saw him on a lot of true crime shows on TV, and then I really learned what he was in prison for. But yeah, he had a stroke, so he can't write inmates, or write people who write him, is what I was told. But yeah, he believed O.J. Simpson was guilty. He watched the O.J. Simpson trial religiously, but I didn't really have too much communication with him. He just happened to come into the vocational electronics class and visit with our teacher a lot, and visit with the inmates, and he would sit in the tool room watching TV during the O.J. Simpson trial, watching the wall-to-wall coverage, and he was on the prosecutor's side, believe it or not.
Wow. Ed Kemper. Wow.
So between Ed Kemper and the Menendez brothers, those were probably the three most high-profile cases you've seen, or inmates you've seen.
Yeah, I mean, when I was at the LA County Jail, at the Central Men's Jail, which opened in the 1960s, it's on by Shea Street, and it's near the Twin Towers, or the Creek Street from the Twin Towers, the main central jail. Back then, I saw cases that were like big in LA. There was a case called the Cotton Club case, where I went to court with this guy who was a bodyguard for Larry Flint. His name was William Metzger or something like that, but he's a bodyguard for Larry Flint, the Hustler publisher. Yeah. And the case was involved where they're caught, where him and a couple of other defendants were caught by a con man to invest in a movie called The Cotton Club, which starred Richard Gere and Diane Lane from the 1980s. And they ended up guy's life, and they all got life without parole. And that guy, when he was in the van on our way to court, he'd brag about all the women he slept with that were models for Larry Flint. But I don't know what happened to that guy, decades later. But I remember that case. And there was another guy who was found not guilty in a case that was called the Wonderland murders in Hollywood that involved a porn actor, John Holmes.
Yeah.
This guy, he was an old guy. He looked like an old mobster type guy, and he was smiling in court when they found him not guilty. But it was some type of series of murders, I guess, that happened in Wonderland Avenue in the Hollywood Hills.
Absolutely.
And that was a notorious case in L.A.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know too much about it. I just...
Yeah, he owned a lot of nightclubs. Yeah.
Yeah, he owned a lot of nightclubs. Yeah. Yeah, it was this guy with the gray hair. He looked like an Italian skinny dude. I'm sure he's dead by now because that was over 30 years. But he was in the van when we were going to court. And he spoke and he was in the tank with me. But I just remember very little about it. And he spoke about it a little bit.
Oh, it was Eddie.
I hadn't heard about the case.
Eddie. His name was Eddie.
What was that?
His name was Eddie.
Oh, yeah, I think that was, yeah. So you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah.
Pepper hair. Yeah, and so I never heard of that case. He spoke about it, and because I think he was mentioned in my case.
Eddie Nash.
That he mentioned something about Wonderland Avenue.
Yeah, it was Eddie Nash.
Eddie Nash, that's him.
Wow, that's crazy that you saw him in there.
Yeah, that was in the other county jail when I went to court. Only when I went to court. He was in the housing units. But when did he passed away? I'm sure, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I think everybody is pretty convinced that he was absolutely behind it and sent the people to go do it. So.
Yeah, he was smiling. I saw the picture in the LA Times because the canteen, the little cart that they had the LA Times. They sold it only limited copies, but we occasionally passed it around on the tiers. And they had long opinion, Spanish newspaper too. But I saw it in the Metro section where he had a picture of him smiling after he was acquitted. And so, yeah, Eddie Nash, that was the dude.
He got away with murder.
There was another case that was kind of infamous. That was on America's Most Wanted, and it was this Melvin Hansen. He was him and these couple other guys murdered a guy over insurance or something like that. His name was Melvin Hansen. They were.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Melvin Hansen.
Do you want me to? Yeah, look up those cases. The other guy was like a doctor, and they were doing some insurance fraud. They killed the guy over insurance fraud. Want me to call you guys back?
Yeah, Robert, if you can.
California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. To accept this call, say or dial 5 now. Thank you for using Global Tel Link.
Hey, I'm back.
Hi, Robert. This is Katie.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, Katie. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. You have any questions for me?
I do. I was just wondering, a lot of us will never really know about kind of like being in a courtroom and everything that you went through. I was just wondering what your physical feelings and mental feelings were during the trial process, and after so many years and so many programs and wonderful strides forward, how you feel about the justice system right now.
I mean, for me, I first want to say that I'm completely responsible for my crime. And, during my trial back in 1991, like in September of 1991 at the Los Angeles Criminal Courts Building, now it's called the Carter Shortridge Foltz Criminal Justice Center on 210 West Temple Street in LA, across City Hall. Back then in 1991, I was minimizing my crime. I was in denial, and I didn't treat. I just didn't show any empathy or compassion back then, and I was focusing. I was listening to the testimony of the trial, and I was only focusing on poking holes in the prosecutor's theories and everything, even though I was responsible for my crime. And I'm pretty fortunate that I considering how I acted back then. I'm fortunate that I was able to come to a system where they encourage rehabilitation now. And even when they were on the tough and crime era, California prisons are way better than Louisiana or Florida or Alabama or Mississippi. So I'm very fortunate to be in a system that's way better than that, despite the system's flaws. There's a lot of guys here that I believe have been given too much time. There are some guys here who I believe weren't given enough time. But there's a lot of lifers being paroled in California, over 1,000 a year, where there used to be none. So I'm hoping that these guys who do get out don't reoffend, that they take to heart what they learned in prison. I got a great GTL Viapath smart tablet that they gave it to me free to use, and I read it until they switch it to Securus JPay, which they're supposed to do in the future. But there's a lot of educational programs on here, and then we get 5 messages a week free to send on our getting out messaging thing, and then we get free phone calls. So I'm very fortunate. I'm blessed, and I owe the state of California so much, considering what I did. With what I did, the horrible crime I committed. I want to serve the state of California and the people of California, and I'm deeply saddened about what I did, and I think about it every day, and it's the center point of everything that I do, and that's my focus. And is there any other follow-up questions?
I did have another question. I overheard you say that you play music. Tell me a little bit about what you like to play and what kind of music do you like to listen to?
Well, I listen to, there's a station called KYNO, Fresno. It's an oldie station. It's the most powerful oldie station on AM dial. It's 940 AM Fresno. One person, if anybody out there wants to listen to it, it's at onepunkbroadcasting.com, and then click the KYNO button, and they also got classic hits. I listen to music from the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and 80s. The only music I listen to from nowadays, I listen to like Taylor Swift and but most of the oldies, I don't even really listen to Taylor Swift as much as I listen to the oldies. Like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, AC/DC, Van Halen, Led Zeppelin, Kiss, the Beach Boys, Chicago, Styx. I saw REO Speedwagon concert in '85. John Cougar Mellencamp, I saw in '85. I saw the Beach Boys in concert in 1988 at the Lofton Country Club. Let's see what else. I like the Turtles.
So, Robert, question: If Rebecca SCHAEFFER or her mom, I know her mom recently passed away, in the afterlife, which I do believe in, what would be the first thing you'd want to say to them or to Rebecca? What would, how, I'm sure you've thought about it. How would you envision that going down? Is there something you want to say?
Well, I don't want to, I don't really want to discuss, that's very personal, and I don't really want to discuss it, if you don't mind, on this program.
Yeah.
I do think of both of them, and it's very special to me, and I just don't feel comfortable expressing it.
Totally understandable.
Yeah, Robert, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. No problem, Robert.
About, this gun violence that's in our society. My idea was about creating a chronic and induced chronic ammunition shortage by having municipalities and progressive states and cities and counties buy as much ammunition as they can, so because there's relative finite annual supply every year, and it would take it away from the criminals by having the good guys have access to it. So, because without ammunition, the guns don't work, and that's just my personal opinion. Because without lead and copper, those are the two most critical elements for gun ammunition, and without those, gun ammunition doesn't work, and guns don't work. And lead and copper are not in the top 18 of the most common elements in the Earth's crust, and they have better uses than being used for mass shootings. So that's just my opinion. I'm just sharing that. So I wanted to get my ideal out there about I call it ammunition management or ammunition diversion. So that's one of my causes I've been pushing. And I just wanted to share that. Even people may disagree, and if they disagree with me, they can write my address and discuss it with me. But I just wanted to get that out there. Thank you.
Hi, Robert. I just wanted, again, I kind of wanted to know, just when you got interested in drawing, and was that something that started in your childhood, and was that something that kind of felt therapeutic to pass the time after you found yourself in prison? I would love to know a little bit about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, when I was younger, me and my brothers, because I'm the youngest of 7 and I have 3 brothers, we were into Star Wars and Star Trek and everything, and we would draw the science fiction vehicles from those shows, but I wasn't particularly good at it. When I came to prison, I had some correspondences that would write to me, strangers, and they asked me to do some drawings and everything, and I would do it if they did some internet research for me or send me photos from the internet. And it kind of started like on that at that time. And I was kind of naive. I didn't know anything about, because some of the people, their motives were not exactly
Best
sterling motives
intentions.
or proper motives. Yeah,
So you were self-taught then?
Excuse me?
You were self-taught.
Yeah, I'm self-taught as far as prison, and it took me a while, and I just keep working at it. I'm still working at it. If you don't mind me asking, I'm just curious, what's this program called? It's Jordan what?
Jordan the Lion?
Oh, Jordan the Lion? Okay.
Yeah.
Like a lion, like Lion King?
Yes.
Hey Robert, while I'm chatting here, we're just showing off I'm showing off the artwork you did. So Robert knows I have some of Forrest Gump's memorabilia, so we're gonna show that off in probably a different video. But he did a couple Forrest Gump drawings. Robert, very nice. I just opened this up, so I just want to show the Jordan's viewers that you're a very talented artist, and you do this, and it's a good thing to have, obviously, have developed. So that's William Catt from The Greatest American Hero. You drew this as well.
Yeah,
so,
these are great.
Yeah. Now, Robert, I'm going to zoom in on your address if it's okay. I want to, so if people want to write Robert or request art, that's Robert. Robert, do you want to say what it is as well? Just to give your address, you're able to just repeat it for the viewers.
Okay. My name, of course, is Robert J for John Bardo. BARDO, and my CDCR number is H-21272, and then I'm in building 610, dorm 9, 2 upper bunk, PO Box 906, Avenal, California 93204-0906.
Got it. Robert, yeah, thank you, Robert. So I just showed off a few of the pieces here that you did, the Greatest American Hero piece. I'm just showing off a couple.
Do you donate some of the money from this? Is that what you're donating towards all the causes?
Well, what I'd like to do is I'm going to do some art. I'm going to have a friend named Jeff Semple, and he has a FC page called Coffin Killers, and we're going to do an FC thing to where I'm going to do a bunch of drawings of different. I might do some pop artists like maybe Taylor Swift or Olivia Rodrigo or Billie Eilish or something to that effect, and or some other pop culture things. Maybe thing to attribute to Hulk Hogan or wrestlers or science fiction movies like Marvel or DC Comics. And if I get paid, I'll cover some of my costs, but I'll like to help like the Marjorie Mason Center in Fresno or the Open Door Center in Bakersfield, California. I encourage people to donate to those places and to the Fresno Mission in Fresno, California, and to the mission in Bakersfield to help people who are homeless to get housing and food. And I want to do stuff like that, and probably even more stuff later on, and to help raise, try to do stuff to raise money for Guiding Race into Power, and also the Lions Club International for their eyeglass program, because since I do that. And I encourage people who are donating, who are getting rid of their old glasses, to donate their glasses to the Lions Club International Lions Inside program. So if they get in contact with the Lions Club International to do that, that is also very helpful too. Thank you.
Robert, just a couple more questions for me. I hope it's okay, brother. You've been talking for a while. So, yeah. So, what is the potential for your case when you is there a potential or a possibility now that there's been some reform in California to get some type of parole in the future, or what are the chances, or what are your next hearings?
I mean, I don't have a hearing because I'm life without parole because I was convicted of first-degree murder and of lying in wait special circumstances, because in California they have special circumstances where the enhanced can elevate your crime from a regular first-degree murder, which is usually 25 to life, and a special circumstance elevates my crime to. At first I was facing the death penalty, but now I got life without parole. So right now the governor, due to the Menendez brothers case, he's changing the Board of Prison Hearings to BPH in California, to where he's submitting regulations to where we can request the Board of Prison Hearings. Board of Prison Hearings. I don't have the full details because we haven't. The regulations has to go through the California Office of Administrative Law, the OAL, Office of Administrative Law, and then they have to be have a public comment hearing, which I don't know when they're going to have that. But as soon as they do that, they'll make those rules, and then I'll submit a commutation. But outside of that, there's I may try a legal petition to the LA Superior Court, see if I can get resentenced, because my case, a judge can review my case if they so choose to, because my case, and they could create a possibility of parole for me.
Do you think they should do that? If you had the choice, would you give you a second chance?
I can't really fully, it's not. I can't really say it's something that I deserve. I would never say that, but
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I'm just working to be of service, and if I'm able to be of service out there, I'll just leave it in God's hands, see what happens. I'll submit my the things that I've done, my record, and see if and let it be reviewed, and if they so choose to grant me a chance to go in front of the parole board, then I'll they'll hold me accountable. The parole board in California is pretty tough. They ask some very tough questions, and they'll put people through multiple-hour parole hearings, and they don't have a problem denying people, and they can do it up to 15 years between parole hearings. So they can be pretty tough. So so I think they set a standard, and they encourage rehabilitation in here, and I can only say I am working on myself, and I'm working on being of service, and working on giving positive things to the community. However it goes, it's out of my control. As far as I can only work on the things I can work on, and I can only submit my record for it to be reviewed, and leave it in God's hands
California probably gives you the best chance.
Yeah, I think California gives you a better chance. I think, Robert. Yeah, especially with the stuff change going.
Yeah.
Hey, Robert, can I ask you one?
But there's no guarantees.
Sorry. No, Robert, sorry. We always do this when we chat. I always chime in and cut you off, so I apologize. Robert, let me ask you this. So, there's no doubt what happened in the case. I know you're remorseful and you've done a lot of changes, but the media, as we know, sensationalizes some things. Is there anything that you felt, if you saw documentaries on yourself on TV, that they may have gotten wrong, or that was just sensationalized, or was just not accurate?
Well, I'd have to. I haven't watched a lot of those documentaries in a while, but the way I see it, it's something I just accept, as a consequence of what I did, because my crime created a lot of fear, And
It changed the
you know,
laws.
My crime terrorized.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That was a positive, at least.
It's the main laws that it really affected was the DMV in California, because I hired a private investigator, and it only cost him $4 to get the information from the DMV, so they changed the law on that. That was the main issue. Now, they claim my case was changed to stalking laws. I don't know how that, I mean, that may be so, but there was other cases that led to that change in California. But even with the stalking law as it is in California, it would have never, it had unlikely been used against my type of case, because my case, I never had a restraining order against me, and I never had any police complaints before my crime occurred. So I think what I'd like to do is work with professionals to focus on things that were specific to my case that could help, help promote public safety, and that's my way of giving back. The way to do that is not often easy, because I have made attempts at doing that, but it's something I'm still working on. But as far as the inaccuracies, I just take that as a fact of life. I caused, the main fact of the matter is I did this horrible, evil crime back in 1989. And, the consequences of that is, all the what goes with it. The reason why I'm talking to you and giving interviews and promoting my art is because I'd like to do the art when I do my stuff for the Etsy for charity. I want to do it in a way so I can benefit the charities I mentioned, and so I do want to shine a light on it. That's the only reason why I'm giving these interviews.
Yeah, and Robert, I appreciate Robert. Yeah, I want to say I appreciate
Absolutely.
that because
Understood.
Robert, I appreciate that because you and I, we've talked numerous times over the last several years. So I appreciate this. I didn't mean to bombard you with this. We just were like, you were calling. I'm like, this is
okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Robert, I just want to say, a lot of people don't think that people can be rehabilitated. So I thank you for talking to me, because you are definitely at least putting the actions in to show people that you're remorseful. Yeah. And that means a lot.
And Robert, this is why I remain in touch with you, exactly for that reason, because you know what happened, and you've been remorseful, and you've put a lot of effort in, and we've talked numerous times over the last few years, and there are people who just deny what they did. There are people who just have egos,
and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Yeah. So Robert, there are people who just deny what they did. They victimize themselves, and there's other things, and you take responsibility, and you've done a lot of good with your artwork and other things, and what you've been doing with the donation of the glasses and the other things, and that's the stuff that we always focus on. But I've really never talked to you about some of these items, some of these things. But Robert, let me ask one personal thing, if it's okay, about this on what happened. So going back to 1989. What do you think triggered you to take that action? Was it some type of rejection? Was it something that, was it something you may have grown up with as a child? What do you think caused you for this? What kind of put you?
Or what did you expect her response to be that would have made you happy?
60 seconds remaining.
I'd rather not to discuss it on this,
okay.
This format at this time, so I apologize.
Yeah.
I just mainly wanted to focus on the art and everything, but I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you all. The phone's about to be cut off.
Yeah.
Just remember the charities, Marjorie Mason Center in Fresno, and the Mission in Fresno for helping the people who are in need, and then the Open Door in Bakersfield, and the Mission in Bakersfield. Those are some of the charities I support, and also Guiding Rage into Power, and which is the GRIPinstitute.org, and then Lions Club International Lions Insight program for eyeglasses, in case anybody wants to donate their old glasses to them. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate it.
Thank you.